Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into a really strange paradox. The harder you seem to chase something, the faster it runs away. We're going to break down why that happens and how, sometimes, the absolute best way to get what you want is to just stop trying so hard.
You know this feeling, right? That intense, gut-wrenching desire for a new job, a relationship, or just for things to go your way, only to feel it all slipping right through your fingers the tighter you squeeze. So, what is actually going on here?
So, that feeling, it is absolutely not just in your head. The idea we're exploring calls this the excess potential trap. Basically, when you push with all that intense, forceful energy, you literally create an opposing force, an energetic resistance that starts working against you.
And here's the crucial point. Reality doesn't have a problem with your goals. The issue is the frantic, life-or-death importance you're attaching to them. It's that desperate energy that creates a kind of, static, almost like interference on a radio, and it blocks the very thing you're trying to tune into.
Okay, to really get a handle on how to overcome this, we need to explore a pretty mind-bending idea, the concept that you aren't actually fixed in a single reality. The theory goes something like this. Every single possible outcome, every version of your life where you got that job, and every version where you didn't, it all already exists on its own separate track, kind of like infinite channels on a TV.
And this, right here, this is the key. You're not creating a new reality from scratch. You're tuning in to one that's already playing. Your internal energy, that mix of your thoughts and your emotions, that's the dial that changes the channel.
All right, so let's look at the two hidden forces that are creating all that static, the things that are keeping you tuned to a reality that you don't really want.
First up is this thing called excess potential. And really, all this is the energy of caring way too much. It's that feeling of, I have to have this, or my life is completely over. You're just overloading the system with importance.
You see, nature is all about balance. So when you create this huge, intense, energetic spike of importance, balancing forces pop up to neutralize it. And these forces, they often show up as the very obstacles and delays that drive you crazy, pushing your goal further and further away.
The second trap is what this theory calls pendulums. Just think of a problem or a frustration that keeps showing up in your life. The more you fight it, the more you worry about it or get angry at it, the more energy you're feeding it, and the stronger it gets. The solution here is, it's pretty radical. Instead of jumping into the ring for another fight, you just withdraw your attention. You mentally step aside. By starving that problem of your emotional energy, it loses its grip on you, which allows you to just slide over to a reality track where it's not even an issue.
Okay, so if pushing harder and fighting our problems doesn't work, what does? How do you consciously choose a better reality track? Well, it all comes down to a really simple three-step shift.
First, you lower the importance. Just let go of that desperate, must-have pressure. Second, you just go about your day with the calm assumption that it's all being handled. And third, when you hit a snag, you don't fight it. You just mentally sidestep it and keep your focus on the reality you prefer.
And you can really see the shift here, can't you? You're going from grasping to releasing, from worrying to just knowing it's done, and from hitting a wall to simply walking into a different room. It's all about alignment, not effort.
This whole thing works because your emotional state is basically a broadcast. Desperation is a frequency that tunes into more lack, more struggle, but calm confidence, that sends out a totally different frequency, one that tunes into a reality of flow, ease, and opportunity. And this brings us to the big paradox. The most powerful state for attracting what you want is the state of no big deal. It's when you genuinely feel like, hey, it would be really nice to have that, but I'll be perfectly fine without it. That state has zero resistance. And as you start to actually practice this, you'll see the signs. You'll notice more of those meaningful coincidences. You'll find that doors just seem to open for you. And you'll watch problems that seemed like mountains just kind of fade away. So really, this all boils down to one fundamental choice that you're making at every single moment. The choice between allowing and chasing. Ultimately, this is the choice. You can keep chasing your desires with all that strained, needy energy, which just causes them to move further away. Or you can shift into a state of peaceful, receptive allowance and just watch them float toward you.
The core lesson here is that what you chase runs, but what you allow comes closer. That no big deal approach is what dissolves the resistance that was blocking you the whole time, opening up the path of least resistance.
Now, we've got to be super clear about this. This isn't about pretending you don't care when you're secretly obsessing. It's not some new mind trick to force results. And it's definitely not about becoming passive and doing nothing. It's about a genuine shift to inner peace, and then taking action that feels inspired and light, not heavy and desperate.
And that leaves us with a final, really powerful thought to chew on. Maybe the game isn't about forcing the world to bend to your will. Maybe it's just about choosing which version of the world and which version of yourself you'd like to experience.
The real power, then, isn't in what you do, but in how you are. By choosing your inner state, you choose your reality track. So what track will you choose to slide into today? Thanks for joining us.